In this video, I'd like to talk about the math question of the day for February 15th, 2023. And with this problem, we need to find the area of this shape here, which is essentially an upside down ice cream cone. But with this shape, it looks like we have this triangular piece here and this half of a circle here. And we want to know the area of this entire shape. And to understand questions like this, you do need to understand some basic pre-algebra, the formulas for the area of a circle, the area of a triangle, and maybe even some geometry. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video and try to work through this on your own. And when you're ready, unpause the video and we can go through this together. Now, assuming that you have attempted the problem, we can start going through it together. And if you do have suggestions for future questions of the day, feel free to leave those in the comments. Now, with this question, like I mentioned, we need to know the area formula for a triangle and a circle. And even though we only have half a circle here, we can just find the area of the entire circle and then just divide that by 2. And remember that for a triangle, let me use a darker or brighter color. For a triangle, the area formula is half the base of the triangle multiplied by the height of the triangle. And for a circle, the area of a circle is pi multiplied by the radius of the circle squared. Where remember that pi, that's an irrational number. It is 3.14159 and so on. It is an infinitely long decimal expansion without a pattern. So with these formulas, we can now find the area by essentially finding the area of the triangle and then adding that to the area of this half circle here. So let's start with the triangle. We know the base of this triangle is 6 yards and we know its height is 4 yards. So if we use the formula, the area of this triangle, this piece right here, is 1/2 the base, which is 6 yards, multiplied by the height, which is 4 yards. And 6 times 4 is 24, divided by 2 is 12, and yards times yards would be square yards. And this should make sense because we're dealing with area, and area deals with square units. Now, finding the area of the circle, to do that, we need to figure out what the radius is. And we know the length across the circle is 6 yards. But remember that the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to its edge. So if the diameter is 6, the radius would be half of that, just 3 yards. Or remember, the radius is just defined as the point from the center to the edge, so we can draw that anywhere here. This radius would always be 3. And you can also notice that it's half of 6 because this diameter is really just composed of 2 different radii. So we can plug that into the formula since now we know that r is 3 yards. So we have the area of the circle is pi multiplied by 3 yards, and we're going to square that. Now 3 times 3 would be 9, so we get 9 times pi, and yards times yards would give us square yards. Now, to find the area of the entire shape, let me make a little bit of room for that. You just say the total area here. This is equal to the area of the triangle, which we know was 12 square yards, plus the area of this half circle. And I just realized a mistake that I did mention in the beginning of the video. We'll find the area of the entire circle, but then we need to cut that in half. So the area for half of a circle would just be half of this, or half of pi times pi the radius squared. So we need to divide everything by 2 here. So to find this total area, we have the area of the triangle, then we're adding the area of this half circle here, which we know is 9 pi over 2 square yards. And if we want, we can find a decimal approximation to this, but keep in mind that if you plug in 4 pi into the calculator, at some point you have to round it. And most people will round it to just 3.14. But when we do plug these into the calculator, our total area will be approximately 26.137, or we can just say 14, and the units are square yards.